Hello friends, followers, channel members, hope you're all doing well. Happy Friday. It's our first stream of the week. I can't believe we've only had one stream this week. It has been a rather busy week though, hasn't it? I'm just turning my volume up on the microphone. It seems to be a little bit quiet. Hopefully that is hopefully that's a bit better. I'm not quite sure why that was so quiet, but anyway, yes, welcome to our flight today. Checking out the Fenix A321 with its brand new engines. Yeah, the more powerful engines that basically the A321s actually have. So that's nice. As we are in the A321 CFM, we are not in EasyJet colours today. No, in fact, we are Jet2, taking a 2.5-hour trip down to the south of Portugal, where the weather that awaits us there looks interesting. Could be an interesting stream, this one. So yeah. Right, welcome on board, guys. Just seen you all coming in on the chat. Hey, Ben, Air Marshall, Talvin, DC, Mark, Ennis, Captain HMW, how's my graphics card? Something's definitely wrong. My FPS looks shocking at the minute. I don't know if that's just because we're at Edinburgh's Stansted airport, or if something needs updating, because yeah, I'm having a bit of an issue. So the sim could crash at any point. I'm just going to make that clear right now. Hey Brian, good to see you. Clever Trevor's also in the house. So yeah, let's have a look. We'll get briefing, get going, because yeah, nice afternoon flight. It's about 2.5 hours flight today, so plenty of time. I thought we've not done any streams this week. We'll have a good one to finish off with. So looking at our beautiful, oh my god, that's loud. Just turning that down because I think an aircraft's just started its engines up behind us. But yeah, there you go. That is us today. Beautiful Jet2, which I believe, oh, that's better. I believe that I believe it's on loan from Titan, I think. Brian, has the DLSS file been over at my Zobo, so check with DLSS. I have no idea what any of that means, Brian. But okay. Christopher says the last update is FPS in the Flagsoft flight sim dropped about 14 FPS. I've been in the flight sim this week and I've not had a problem with it, but it is awful right now at the minute. You just watch as I pan around. Can you see that? That is far worse than it ever usually is. We'll see what it's like once we get airborne anyway. But yeah, Jacob just confirming, yep, Whiskey Uniform is on lease by Jet2 from Titan, yeah, which is why it's only got the basic Jet2 white coat of arms, so to speak. Right, let me grab the, there we go, that's our operational flight plan for today. We'll quickly go through this. So a nice, decent payload, 18 tons, underloaded by about half a ton. The alternate is Lisbon, Chanix 2 Victor November, flight level 33, headwind working against us today, 0 fuel weight 666, takeoff weight is a lovely, also almost all the 7s, isn't it, our takeoff weight, so that's nice and heavy. 1,000 miles, off runway 22, back in on runway 10. Fuel, plug fuel is about 11.5 tons. CNR is 3.4. I didn't check the shear rate actually. It was only 3.4. That's okay. A quick look at our route as we're going, and we'll just check. No, there's no en route weather. Now this is what's going to be quite interesting. So worst case scenario for us today. The weather is not looking brilliant in Faro at the moment. In fact, if we have a look here, this is still Cat 1. Yeah, ceiling's 400, but visibility, that's the important factor. Visibility is 2 kilometers, so that's okay. There's a lovely crosswind coming in at the moment from the south, so the runway runs west to east, and the wind is coming directly to us from the south, so lovely crosswind for our landing later on. Lisbon is also Cat 1, that's fine. Porto is getting close to LVP conditions with the ceiling at 200 feet. We've also got Malaga and Seville as our other alternates. But what's interesting about Faro is it only has an ILS-1 Cat 1 what am I trying to say? It's we can't auto land. Let's put it that way. So the minimums are something like, I think it's 750 meters visibility, and I'll have a look at the chart in a bit. But there's mist coming in. If I go to the weather, have a look here. So in sort of like the next 12 hours or so, visibility down to 3 kilometers, rain, mist, scattered 400. So, and here's the gusts and the wind as well. So it could be a very interesting landing, which will be interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Basically, definitely worth taking some extra fuel. Quick look at the NOTAM Stansted. Lights and serviceable. Juliet closed between Alpha, including Link Papa for essential works. And final approach speed. Okay, that's for landing. We're not going to be worried about that. We'll have a look at the arrival airport NOTAMs. Don't think there's anything here either. No, we're not planning on any of those. We're on the Sotex 7 Charlie arrival, so no, that's fine. So given the fact that the weather could be a bit pants, we will take a bit of extra fuel. So let's take 13 tons of fuel, just given what could potentially happen en route. Right, now we've decided on that, I will let GSX do its thing. I have updated GSX as well, so I'm hoping that's not causing any issues. Chris 2694 over on Twitch. Is the 321 the same setup as the 320? Yes. Yes, it is. Which is why when a pilot is type rated to fly the 320, they're also then included. They can fly the 319 and 321. Some airlines, though, will, particularly the 321, because of the tail strike risk, because it's obviously longer. Some airlines will have to make their first officers undergo some additional training and additional flights with an experienced captain for flying the 321, just because there's a couple of extra things that they need to be aware of. Right, so that's done. We're just going to check that the overhead's good, so that should be in captain's position. All our fuel pumps, they should be off. Packs are off. Just turn these down a little bit. We're on external power at the moment. Everything else is off, so that's fine. Let's come down here. Check flaps, spoilers, parking brake. Yeah, should also be squawking 2000. I'm going to check the ATIS in a minute because we do have some air traffic control for our flight at the moment. So that's fine. Lovely. Let's grab the ATIS and grab a pen. Make a quick note of that.
Stansted information Foxtrot. Time 1320 Zulu. Runway in use 22. Transition level flight level 70. Surface, wind calm. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. View at 4,000 feet. Temperature +12. Dew point +2. QNH 1017. Tower is open. Departing aircraft make initial contact on frequency 123.805. Acknowledge receipt of information Foxtrot and advise aircraft type on first contact.
Okay, that's fine. So wind's calm, good visibility. Basically, the weather's a really nice day. Really nice day for flying today in the UK. Clear skies all around. Studio UK, when you load the Fenix install, if you update the 320, does it automatically update the 321, 319? Yes, it does. Yes, you only have to run that update once. Okay, so QNH 1017. Is refueling underway? I hope it will be soon. Hopefully, I have seen some GSX launching, so we'll just keep an eye on that, make sure the refuels are going to come. So yeah, what did I say? QNH was 1017. That should be monitored on the guard. Yeah, we'll just turn on the PA so we can hear those guys as well. Switching panel, thrust levers, enable master selection, and all the start switches, they're fine. Air pressure is not yet in the green. 1017, get the constraints on. Initial climb out here as well as 4,000 feet, so I will just change that on the FCU whilst we're here. Alright, let's come down to the box and start setting her up. So, CFM engines, I'm slightly out of date with the air cycle. I forgot to update that, so apologies there, but never mind. So we've got 3 nav greens. Let's do our init request. Oh, I know what I haven't done. Just let that fill itself out. Rory, the sharklets are they are coming, definitely. I can say with some certainty. AOC menu, flight init. Let's do that as well. Oh, the ground crew are here. Look, I just hope the refueling guys come. That's done. Yeah, 2 hours 33 minutes. All right, flight number is. Where's my? There we go. So what are we? Echo X-ray Sierra. Echo 2 Victor November. Cost index of 34. Ground temperature 12 degrees. It felt cold this morning when I opened the door and kicked the kids out for school. Tropo is 37041. You can download those wins. Oh, good afternoon, Lulu. Celebrating 7 months of Captain Level channel membership. Lulu, thank you so much for your support over the last 7 months. Not only supporting the channel, but also giving us tips on the 777 as well. Iris in it, we are stand 14, 51, 53, 4 north, 0, 15, 2 east, all in agreement and alignment, and that's fine for stand 14. We're cruising 330, where the temperature is going to be 52. Let's get the flight plan in. And we're departing off to 2, Lupo 1 Romeo. And then arriving in Faro, ILS 10 Zulu, coming in on the Sutex 7 Charlie. And I can't remember what the approach veer is. Let me just have a quick look. I think it's Venal coming from the north, so pop that in. I've just got the chart up for that. Yeah, so yeah, there you can see the minimums there for our landing today. Cat 1 only for the localizer. Cat 1 ILS 750 meters, and the minimum is 230 feet. Which, as long as that mist stays out of the way, we will be okay. But it's an if. Right, we've got 1,015 miles, and I have also got on the flight plan 1,015 miles. Perfect. Studio UK, these are Lido charts, which is what EasyJet use in the real world. Chris, the ground temperature, you can find, it's there. Bottom of your lower ECAM, bottom left of your lower ECAM. You can just find it just here, look. Right, so that's fine. Rad nav page. Is it the Barkway VOR we depart via for the Nubo 1 Romeo? I think. Are we refueling yet? Yes, we are. They took their time to arrive, didn't they? Where's my chart? There we go. Yes, Bravo Kilo Yankee. So we'll just hard tune that. Bravo Kilo Yankee. Clever Trevor May also celebrating 10 months of channel membership, as is Air Macam. Guys, you are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. And Clever Trevor's just bought Bogota. That's a really high airport, isn't it? High altitude airport. So some Airbuses do land there, but they do need to be equipped for high altitude landings. Right, so that's set. Let's have a look at the Init B page again. Where has my operational flight plan gone? Right, so in fact I don't need the operational flight plan. I need the preliminary load sheet. Oh my god, that's a lot of messages. What's going on here? Preliminary load sheet 1. Preliminary load sheet 2, preliminary load sheet 3, right, 048666. That's a bad omen, isn't it? So always around this time, scary films come out, don't they, for Halloween? I keep seeing adverts for those. Scared my wife to death the other night, one of them. 666 weight CFG is 26. Fuel for the alternate 2,140. We'll round that up to 2.2. Fuel planning. We're taking 13 tons. See what the box says.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight. Please place your large bags into the overhead lockers.
Ah, passengers are coming on.
Keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags,
And we've got a takeoff weight. Ooh, look at that nice heavy takeoff weight. 79.4 tons for the takeoff weight. And our CFGs are 26 and 24.7.
to an overhead locker. Once you have safely stowed your cabin,
Lovely. An extra 1 hour 90 minutes, which seems excessive, but when you've got the potential of the destination dropping below minimums and having to divert somewhere, I'd rather have that in the bank. Mark, I am still using Atmos, and also, mate, celebrating 3 years of membership. That is awesome. Training captain level membership, Mark, as well. That is brilliant. Thank you so much, mate. Peter, not using self-loading cargo anymore. No, not used that since the Fenix got automatic cabin announcements. Right, that's all set. Let's have a look at our performance then. As we wait for refueling to take place, it's going to take a lot longer, isn't it? Because there's a lot more fuel required than normal. Just make that a bit smaller. There we are. So we are indeed off runway 22. It is dry here. We go flaps 2 for the 321. Force Togo, no, anti-ice will be off, packs will be off. We'll stick to using our usual Orange Airline standard operating procedures. 79.4 tons for the takeoff weight, and CFG is 24/7. And sync the live weather. Can't remember the intersection numbers for Stansted. Let me have a quick look. Victor, why do you ask the aircraft to calculate the fuel planning? Okay, so the main reason is because once you've popped all the route and all the data and everything into the aircraft, it knows how long it's going to be flying for, all the en route winds have been downloaded, etc., and it will tell you this is how much fuel you are going to need for everything you've told me we're going to do. Now, obviously, we've told the refuelers we want X amount, but if the aircraft comes back and says, well, you want Y amount, and that amount happens to be more than you've told the refuelers, then you're going to tell the refuelers, well, actually throw me some more on, because the aircraft apparently wants more. If the aircraft is telling you it wants less, that's fine. So that's, yeah, basically it's just it's an error check. Right, we are here, and we will look at Quebec 1 as a potential departure route if we've got figures for it. Yeah, Quebec 1. 2687. So 2687 there, that's fine. I need to check that that is a valid amount of runway. I've got 2685 just there, so it's a couple of meters short. So realistically, you have to go in and alter that. It's only a couple of meters, but, you know, all margins and things like that. So, with that, I will use these figures, which is, whoops, what have you got? 45, 49, and 50.
Welcome on board. Hello.
We're using flaps 2 for the departure, and we are flexing to 50.
This way, please.
Transition altitude Stansted, it's got there 6,000 feet. I will just need to check that.
This way. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, so Victor, you basically check it. You could put in 13 tons from the beginning, but I'd rather know that the aircraft has got enough fuel. If I put in 13 tons and don't do the check, and the aircraft had come back and said it wants 13.5 tons, then we're going to be half a ton short, aren't we? Right, so MSA is 21 as we depart down here, going up to 2,000 feet, and transition altitude is down there, yeah, 6,000 feet, so that's confirmed. Lovely, thrust reduction, acceleration, and engine out. We will bring in SimSmart for that. Runway 22. 1348, 1348, 1348. We're using Jet2, not EasyJet, so we will stick with these figures.
Please place your large bag into the overhead lockers. Wheels first.
EasyJet now,
All items.
you knock a couple of 100 feet off these figures.
These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing.
Oops, missed one.
An emergency exit room or a front row bulkhead.
This way. Welcome
All
on
of your
board.
items must be placed into an overhead locker. Once you have safely stowed
Lovely, so it's a noise abatement to departure. Right, let's have a look at the engine out procedure. It's standard, 1900 feet, right turn to the Parkway VLR. To be honest, that is very similar to what we're doing anyway. So if we now go into the secondary flight plan, we'll copy the active. We got Parkway in here. Actually, we've not. I thought we might have. All right. We don't actually overfly the Parkway VLR, that's why. So let's pop in Bravo, Kilo, Yankee.
Good afternoon.
Where we would then take up the hold if we've lost an engine after departure, and what's the hold information? 250 right turns. So this is our engine out procedure in case we've lost an engine after departure. If that is the case, once we're in the hold at the Parkway VLR, we're going to be coming back to Stansted. No reason to go anywhere else. Stansted, very, very long runway. So perfect place to go.
Welcome on board. Hello.
That's fine.
Hello.
And then we can just have a quick check at the primary flight display, make sure that looks accurate for an engine out procedure. Oh, zoom in. Yeah, there we go. Straight out, right turn, and take up the hold. And that turn is once we are above 1,900 feet. So with all of that done, I think we are ready for the brief.
Hello.
Right, so if we're all ready then for the brief, and you're ready for the brief, we'll crack on with it then. So, nothing to report on the weather. It's really nice conditions today for our flight. Obviously, we spoke a little bit about the weather in Faro. We'll keep an eye on that as we are en route. We're in a brand new aircraft today, fully serviceable with the exception of the weather radar. Brand new engines as well. Hopefully, they will work. No times affecting us today. Let's go through what we're doing and where we're going. So, we are on stand 14. If I can just bring up the parking stands chart. There we go. So yeah, we're on stand 14. I'll look to Pushback. There it is. We'll push back, taxi probably, Alpha, Hotel. We've got takeoff figures from Quebec. We're going to take Romeo then if needed, because we'll have the extra runway space. That's fine. So short taxi, no single engine taxi for us today. Both engines started as we push back. Because it is such a short taxi as well, we'll do the flight control checks, etc. once we push back and not whilst we're rolling. Takeoff is on runway 22, and it's the number 1 Romeo departure, which is straight out, no turns below 850. Turn begins at 3.5 miles from the ILS DME. It's in the box anyway, so that's fine. It's part of the RNAV departure. MSA is 21, and then drops to 2,000 as well. And our initial climb for number 1 Romeo is 4,000 feet, and we've got that set on the FCU already. Good. So any threats or anything that we need to have a look at or bring to our attention? Quite honestly, no, this all looks nice and straightforward. It's not very busy around. We've got good runway, we've got good weather, a long runway, etc. So yeah, no obstacles either. So should be absolutely fine. There is one more thing I want to check, and this is a legal requirement that I should have done a little bit earlier on. So our landing weight, how much extra fuel are we taking? I need a calculator for this because I'm lazy. So our we're going to be taking 13,000
Last
kilograms.
station, you're on guard. You're not talking to anyone. You need to change your frequency to who you want to talk to.
Let's just not monitor that for the timing. So 13,000 tons of fuel, that's what we're taking, that's what's being loaded. Just whilst I'm doing this, actually, I'm going to just start up the APU. So let me just do that, and then that can be running. Right, APU starting. Yeah, so we're taking 13,000 pounds worth, 13,000 kilograms of fuel. Planned bulk fuel was 11476, so we're taking around an extra 1.5 ton of fuel, which means that our landing weight is going to be 1.5 tons heavier. So landing weight here, I'm just adding this up, 70315 plus the extra fuel. So I need to do a landing distance calculation in Faro for around 72 tons. So let's have a arrival performance. Let's grab the METAR. It is not currently raining, so we'll do it as dry. Landing weight 72 tons, and yeah, that's the main thing. We can stop. That's flaps full, low and low to brakes. So yeah, that's fine. Dispatch landing distance calculation is complete. Did I say 13,000 tons, Peter? Sorry, 13 tons, 13,000 kilograms of course. Right, so we are all done. Let's now just contact ATC 123805, and then we're pretty much ready to go. Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Jet2 Victor November A321 information. Foxtrot requesting IFR clearances file to Faro.
Jet2 Victor November, Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Report stand number.
Apologies, stand 14.
Jet2 Victor November, cleared to Faro. Nugbo 1 Romeo departure, squawk 7501. QNH 1017.
Cleared by the Nugbo 1 Romeo departure, squawk 7501 for Jet2 Victor November.
Jet2 Victor November, correct.
Change the squawk. And confirm that QNH 1017 is set, check both sides.
Ocean 58, taxi stand 25 left via Link November and Juliet.
Okay, final company message I think has also come through. Refueling is completed. APU bleed on. External power can come off. Seatbelt signs on.
Ocean 58 negative, stand 25 left. 25 left via Link November and Juliet.
25 left via Link November and Juliet for Ocean 58.
And let's just check out the rest of those messages. Slot notification. How many of those have we got? VIP movement restriction. This is a real ACARS message, by the way. VIP movement restriction, airspace, expect holding, end of message. Oh, okay. Who's coming into Stansted? Stansted does have all the VIPs because it's got this spare apron, hasn't it, out, so it can be used in those events. Takeoff.
Fenix 87, ready for mission start.
Oh, it's got 80 tons. No, it hasn't. Yes, it has.
Fenix 887, stand 12, push and start approved.
And 26,
Brilliant start, approved,
24.7. Okay, so I just need to rerun some figures then here. I'm quite sure why it's got us a bit heavier than originally planned. So I'm going to recalculate that. So 45, 49, 50 and 50. 45, 50, 51 and now a new flex of 49. Right, let's get those in. Someone must have brought some heavy luggage on board. And flex 49. Okay, 13 tons of fuel. Check that's balanced. Yep, good. Alright, let's run the cockpit prep checklist then. So aircraft acceptance has been completed. Fuel quantity is 13 tons balanced. Seatbelt signs are on. Adhere's got 3 nav green, and the BARF. QNH is 1017 at showing 340 feet. God, these frame rates are awful today. Kakazu, I will show you how I got the landing weight once we're airborne if you're still around, mate. Remind me. So that's done, and let's tell them that we're ready to go. And Stansted Tower, Oceanic 2, Victor November, stand 14 is ready for push and start.
Fenix 2, Victor November, stand 14, push and start approved onto Alpha East.
Push and start approved onto Alpha East for Oceanic 2, Victor November. Okay, disconnect the external power. Get the beacon light on.
Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Oceanic 473 Quebec, stand 24 right, Type A321 with information Foxtrot, clearance to Avita, please.
Oceanic 473 Quebec, Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Clear to Ibiza, Nugbo 1 Romeo departure, squawk 3255, QNH 1017.
Clear to Avita by Nugbo 1 Romeo, squawk 3255, QNH 1017, Oceanic 473 Quebec.
Oceanic 473 Quebec, correct.
Oh, that's interesting. All the gauges on my FCU hardware has just disappeared. That's strange.
Stansted Tower, Fenix 8 Victor Bravo, aircraft type A321 with access information Golf requesting clearance to Tenerife South.
Oceanic 8 Victor Bravo, Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Report to aircraft type.
Aircraft type A321 and I'm at stand 22 right.
Oceanic 8 Victor Bravo, just confirm your aircraft type because I think it's showing as an A320, just confirm A321.
Confirm A321.
Oceanic 8 Victor Bravo, cleared to Tenerife, Nugbo 1 Romeo departure, squawk 7740.
Okay, before start checklist then whilst they're hooking up.
1017.
Parking brake is on, takeoff data is confirmed.
Squawk
Windows are
7740,
closed.
QNH
If on
1017, Fenix 8 Victor Bravo.
Oceanic 8 Victor Bravo, the Nugbo 1 Romeo departure.
Closed, not armed.
With a Nugbo 1 Romeo departure, Fenix 8 Victor
And the
Bravo.
beacon light is on.
Oceanic 8 Victor Bravo, correct.
Robert, yeah, very heavy on the frames. So do I still need to tell GSX to crack on?
Stansted Tower, good afternoon, runner 1874, stand 42 with Golf, type 78, requesting clearance to Nice.
Right now, 1874, Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Clear to Nice, Nugbo 1 Romeo departure,
Parking brakes released.
squawk 3522, QNH 1017.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Clear to Nice, Nugbo 1 Romeo departure, squawk
Nozzle seen disconnected is confirmed.
QNH 1017.
Engine mode selected to ignition and starting engine 1.
Right now, 1874, correct.
Arm doors and cross-check.
Oceanic 887, request taxi.
Fenix 887, taxi holding point Romeo 1 for runway 22 via Alpha West, Link Alpha, Hotel and Romeo. Caution, the company traffic pushing stand 14 onto Alpha East.
Taxi to
Paranoia
holding
check that
point,
the APU
Romeo
bleed was
1
turned on,
runway
which it is.
22 via Alpha West, Link Alpha, Hotel, Romeo and I'll be kept this company traffic. Oceanic City 7.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. A321. Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket contains important information about exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets.
Yeah, so a very short taxi down here. If we can take Quebec, we will. It's a slightly shorter taxi, saves fuel, saves time. Always good.
There are 8 emergency exits.
Good afternoon, Daniel. Prodigy, you're now flying Toulouse, excellent, which is a great Airbus airport. What the hell is that?
Behind you. Emergency lighting.
Oh, why aren't the pumps on? Cancel engine start. Engine was selected to normal, and engine starter is off. My overhead panel showed that they were on. My physical overhead panel showed they were on, so must be a slight communication issue there with the Mobi flight. Right, let's restart those engines. Engine mode selected us back to ignition and starting engine 1.
Put the mask over your nose and mouth.
I thought it was going to be a very short flight then.
Hold the mask in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust.
Something has gone wrong with my hardware though. My
Fenix 887, can I confirm taxi via Alpha West?
Fenix 887, yeah, if you're able to
my FCU is not working
step to
correctly.
the left there, you should be able to pass the company traffic.
Yeah, okay, we'll take Alpha West, thanks.
Do not inflate the life jacket inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate it by pulling the toggle.
Might try and restart that once we're airborne. I can still interact with it though. It's just the displays have disappeared, which is annoying.
And whistle for attracting attention. The cabin crew can assist you with life jackets.
Rennie reviews. No, I'm not using the mini FCU at the
Now
moment.
be stowed. Armrests down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. Further information regarding your safety on board can be found in the in-flight magazine. We hope you have a great flight.
Okay, starting engine 2.
Tower EZ91 Alpha Echo is on about a 5 nautical mile flight off for runway 22.
Alpine 901 Alpha Echo Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Surface wind 210 degrees, 5 knots, runway 22, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 22 EZ91 Alpha Echo.
Unlocking gear.
GSX seem to be taking their time.
And good day, Stansted Tower. This is Viking 224A requesting IFR clearance for to Faro, and we are at gate 5 to Romeo.
Left is clear, right is clear.
Viking
Just looking at engine 1
2248,
parameters.
Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Confirm aircraft type.
Doesn't look like the best engine start to me.
Aircraft type Airbus 321. Viking 2248.
Viking 2248, clear to Faro, Nugbo 1 Romeo departure, squawk 3403, QNH 1017.
Okay, I'm going to shut down engine 1 and restart that.
Number 1 Romeo departure, squawk 3403, and the QNH was
Okay,
1017
good start on number 2.
for Viking 2248.
Viking 2248, correct.
Stansted Tower, hello,
Just tell
Ryanair
ATC what's
82 Kilo
happening.
X-Ray, stand 43 Romeo with information Golf in the Boeing 737-800 request clearance.
Ryanair 28 Kilo X-ray, Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Stand by, I'll be back to you in a minute. Break, Fenix A321 behind the landing, EasyJet A319. Line up, runway 22 behind.
Let's retry engine number 1. Just check the overhead.
Fenix A321 holding Romeo 1.
Fenix A321 behind the landing.
Alright, engine mode selected is back to ignition. And let's restart engine
line up,
number
runway
1.
22 behind.
Line up behind the landing traffic. Fenix A321.
And Tower Oceanic 2, Victor November, just having a slight issue with our engine 1 start. Are we alright here for the moment?
Fenix 2, Victor November, no problems. Call back ready for taxi.
We'll go Oceanic 2, Victor November.
Ryanair 82 Kilo X-ray, cleared to destination. Squawk, it's the Clacton to Echo departure. Squawk 2233, QNH 1017.
Someone throw some more coal on the fire.
Clear to destination via the Clacton to Echo departure and squawk 2233 Ryanair 82 Kilo X-ray.
Ryanair 82 Kilo X-ray, correct.
Right, engine 1's available. Whew. Much better. Alright, engine 1 selected back to normal, and our
Viking 2248.
APU can come off.
We are ready for push and
Masters can
start.
come off. Anti-ice is not
Viking
required.
2248, squawk 3403.
Spoilers, rudder, flaps 2. And set trim. And the after start checklist. So anti-ice is our FECOM
Viking
status.
2248,
is checked.
squawking 3403.
Pitch trim 24.7,
we are ready
rudder is
for push
neutral.
and
We'll
start.
flight control check here then whilst we're stationary as briefed.
Viking 2248,
Full
stand by,
left.
break. Fenix
Full
887,
right.
surface wind 210 degrees, 5 knots,
Full
runway
up.
22, cleared takeoff.
Clear
Down.
for takeoff runway 22, Fenix A321.
Neutral. Rudder
Easy
full right.
901 Alpha Echo, taxi stand
Full left.
11 left via
And neutral.
Link November, Juliet
Lovely.
and Alpha West.
Taxi to gate 11, sorry, say again for ECU.
We'll get our taxi
Easy
clearance in a
901
minute
Alpha
when we've
Echo,
got space.
taxi stand 11 left via Link November, Juliet and Alpha West.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now
Taxi
secured for
to
takeoff.
stand 11,
Okay, lovely, thank
11
you.
left via
And
Link,
all doors
left,
are closing off
Link
as well.
November, Juliet, and Alpha West for ECU 91 Alpha Echo.
Viking 2248, stand 52 right, push and start approved.
Push and start approved for Viking 2248 from gate 52 right.
Cancel master caution. Tower Chanex 2 Victor November is ready for taxi, and we can take Quebec this afternoon.
Chanex 2 Victor November, taxi holding point Quebec 1 for runway 22 via Link Alpha, Hotel and Quebec.
Link Alpha, Hotel Quebec, hold Quebec 1 for runway 22, Chanex 2 Victor November. Right, double check where we're going. So we are, we're here, so Alpha, Hotel, Quebec 1.
Chanex 887, no further ATC, monitor Unicom 122.8, have a good flight.
Unicom 1228, Fenix 887.
Oceanic 473 Quebec, stand 24 right, ready for push and start.
Right, parking brakes released, let's go.
Chanex 473
Taxi
Quebec,
checklist, flight
stand
controls have been
24
checked,
right,
flap
push
setting
and
is
start approved, base
config
north.
2. Confirmed.
Push start approved, base north, Oceanic 473.
FMA's we've got climbing up blue 1FD2, 4000 blue. Radar and predictive wind shear on. ECAM memo, got takeoff, no blue. EFP stowed and disconnected. Clever, this won't roll on idle, we're too heavy today. So slight change to our performance, was a bit heavier than we originally planned for. Engine out procedure is standard, so obviously if something goes wrong, we'll lose an engine after V1, we'll get out and I'll pull the heading bug once we have secured the engine, accelerated away, and then we'll climb above 1900 feet. It's a right turn to the Parkway VOR where we'll take up the hold 4,000 feet. Departure is the number 1 Romeo, straight out 4,000 feet. Clean up as we go. First turn to the right, noise abatement 2, and yeah, that holding altitude, that initial climb is 4,000 as briefed.
Jet2 Victor November, surface wind 210 degrees, 5 knots. Via Quebec 1, runway 22, clear takeoff.
Clear takeoff, runway 22 via Quebec 1 for Jet2 Victor November. That's all our lights on. Packs off. Just got the T-cast to sort. Oh my word, I've just run over a squirrel.
Stansted Tower, good afternoon, this is Ryanair 264.
Lights on, approach path is clear.
Left, Boeing 737-800. With information, Golf H 1017, request 86 knots to Riga South.
Ryanair 2642, Stansted Tower, good afternoon. Clear to Riga. Clacton 2 Echo departure, squawk 7206.
Clear to Riga, Clacton 2 Echo departure, squawk 0276 for Ryanair 2642.
Ryanair 2642, negative, you squawk 7206, 7206.
My bad, 7206 for the squawk, Ryanair 2642.
Okay, line up checklist, cabin secure, take off runway by Quebec 122. TCAS TRA and packs 1 and 2 are off. Let's go, start the chrono. Right, let's listen to those new engines. Sound quite quiet actually. They're stable, set takeoff. Thrust. Manflex
Ryanair
SRS,
A2 Kilo
runway
Express,
auto
stand
thrust
43,
blue.
Romeo request push and start.
Ryanair 82 Kilo X-ray, stand 43 Romeo. Push and start approved onto Charlie West.
Push and start approved onto Charlie West, Ryanair A2 Kilo X-ray.
100 knots.
Oceanic 473 Quebec, ready for push, ready for taxi.
Jet2 473 Quebec, taxi holding point Romeo 1 for runway 22 via Link Bravo, Hotel and Romeo.
Rotate.
Taxi holding point Romeo 1 for runway 22 via Hotel Bravo, Oceanic 473 Quebec.
Positive climb, gear up. Nav. Thrust climb, auto thrust. Autopilot 1 engaged. And flaps 1.
Jet2 Victor November, no further ATC, monitor Unicom 122 decimal.
122 detonate, Jet2 Victor November, thanks for the service, bye bye. Further ATC, let's continue that climb, just choose something sensible, so we'll go flight level 180, standard pressure 180 blue, with a speed, so flap 0, spoilers disarmed. Packs back on. left Stansted, frame rates have returned. So a reminder, you can pick up Stansted Airport from any builds, link in the video description below, or if you're watching on YouTube, of course, it's pinned in the link chat as well.
We recommend keeping seatbelt fastened whenever. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time.
Okay, so as we've got no further ATC, I see nothing on TCAS either out in our way, so we're going to go direct then to Nugbo. And in fact, I'll tell you what, number one. We've got a one after that, which is direct to Silver. As we make the left turn, just check. Spoilers disarmed. Flaps are up. Gear is up. All our lights can come off as well now. Looking very autumnal down there. Rex Atmos is in use today, which is well, this thing might be looking a little bit better than normal. I'm loving that bright haze that we've got there. Nate, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. So as we come up on 10,000 feet then, lights are obviously already off. We'll look at the fuel. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I ever recall seeing that before. Just not noticed. Right, so we get airports onto our EFIS, check our performance and see if we can climb level 340. Flight level 33 is planned, 34 is optimum, so yeah, that's fine. We can go all the way up then. Flight level 340, not too heavy for that, not with our new engines anyway. So 340 blue, and usual EasyJet SOPs, cost index of 0. The RadNav page, we can clear that out. Secondary flight plan as well. Copy active, clear that out because we don't need the engine out procedure anymore. That's it. On our way to the lovely Faro. We like Faro. One of the favourite destinations on the channel. Not only because there they have great custard tarts. Let's get the seatbelt signs off as well, I think. And that clips our new engines though. I think that might be Stevenage down there, for anyone that knows Stevenage. So for anyone who's now just joining us, wondering what all the new, what the fuss is about with new engines. So the CFM engines that we've now got in the A321 are the correct most common engines for the 321. They are slightly more powerful than the ones for the 320 and the 319. So if you now go into your data page and have a look at your aircraft status, you'll see you've got the CFM 5B3 engines, as opposed to what you're used to seeing there. Hey, Organ Aviator. Again, nothing between here and Pepys, so cheeky direct. It's a long flight. And we're going to be well above any Heathrow traffic. So Pepys, 52 miles away. Yeah, so I think that was stevenage early, because then there you can see is Luton, the home of EasyJet, with a bright orange hangar look. Now that is a great inner-built scenery. If you haven't got this yet, do pick that up. Again, use the link down below, because that is one of my favourite airports to fly into. Beautifully modelled, great on frame rates, and if you like doing EasyJet ops, then that is the airport to have. Riyadh, I am absolutely using Rex Atmos. Yes, indeed. In fact, you can probably tell. Hang on, if I turn Rex Atmos off, 1 minute. So that's without. There you go. That's the default view. That is default Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm going to turn Atmos on. So that's the slight change for the weather. Atmosphere and environment. There you go, that is Rex Atmos. And you can also you can get Rex Atmos now. If you haven't got it already, you can get it with 10% off. Use that discount code down below, purchase it on the Contrail store, and yeah, you can get it even cheaper. Organ, no, you're right, I don't fly into Luton that often. I don't really know why. It's a great airport, great scenery. It'd just be on the nose a little bit, I think, wouldn't it, as to fly into Luton all the time. Now, there's probably the biggest airport that we're going to see on our flight today, London Heathrow. Mark says you forget what a good job Atmos does until you turn it off. Well, that's right. Your eyes just become sort of accustomed to this, but it looks superb. Really, really good. Bam says that's a huge difference. Would have been sold on Rex Atmos if Flight Sim 24 wasn't coming out soon. Well, this is the interesting thing about that, because Rex Atmos will work with Flight Sim 24. They've already said it's already ready to go, and will work with Flight Sim 24. Now, then people ask the obvious question, well, will it actually be needed? Will it still be, you know, what's everything going to look like in Flight Sim 24? And just as Mark has said, from all the previews, all the previews and the pictures and everything that we've seen from Flight Sim 2024, the sky, the clouds, etc., I strongly believe Rex Atmos will still be needed to create realistically looking skies and environments in Flight Sim 24. I honestly believe that. And I'm not just saying it, but as Mark said as well,
traffic, Spibbers 63 kilo taxiing, and
the pictures look like they will be needed. And look at that. That, I think, looks stunning. That looks as close to real as you're probably going to get. And again, if I just turn I can't even say it. If I turn Atmos off, there, that's turned off. Let me turn it back on just so you can see. So default, and then Atmos is now coming back in. There you go. Honestly, such a difference. So yeah, I think it is going to be needed, and I will probably still be using it.
Just confirm, does these jets take off to 7 left? I believe that's the landing and weight of Heathrow at the moment.
Stooge UK, my settings for Atmos are available on Atmos, yes. So I've uploaded my settings as a public one. Just search for EasyJet SimPilot and then you'll find it. But yeah, if you are thinking of getting Atmos, then do use the discount code there on screen on the Rex store, on the Contrail store, because it will save you some money.
Right by the one.
That's our special EasyJet SimPilot discount code. Lulu says going to be flying through Heathrow next month, flying your ex-company to the US for Thanksgiving. I hope you still get some sort of discount. Benjamin23, I can say with 100% guarantee that the Sharklets will be around soon. Captain HW, why are we leaving this beautiful weather? I know, we've had gorgeous weather in the UK today, haven't we? And look at that. There you go. The Rex Atmos honestly has changed the way the sim looks so much. And as Ethan said, it's very subtle in what it does. But my goodness, it's a huge difference.
Heathrow traffic, Skyways 145, stand 224, push and start onto Bravo, basic east, Heathrow.
Right, so we're still in the climb. Fruitbar says he's flying Heathrow next week to the land of leprechauns. Well, we've had quite a busy week on the channel this week with quite a few videos. Obviously this live stream now for the next 2-3 hours or so. Not sure we'll get anything in over the weekend, but then I am not around next week. I'm actually going away next week. So yes, there won't be anything on the channel. Well, there'll be no live streams on the channel, but I will be around on Discord, of course. Organ, can I turn Atmos on and off again? Yeah, of course I can. I'll tell you what I'll do. Hang on then. Have a look at this view. So, there you go, that is Atmos on. Let me turn it off. Are you ready? So, 3, 2, 1. There. Look how much suddenly brighter and oversaturated everything is. So it's off at the moment. I'm going to turn it back on now. So it does take about 10 seconds for everything to come on, because there are 3 presets that I use together. There's a weather shading, an atmosphere, and an environment enhancer. There you go. They're all now back on for you. Lulu, no comment. You're somewhere up near the front. Oh, I see, Lulu. You're getting on that aircraft and turning left, yeah? Good on you. I would expect nothing else. Aaron, FPS is struggling for me today. Yeah, I actually have a bit of an issue. I have got a graphics... I've got to be very careful here. Look, I've got this. If I press OK, the sim will shut down. I can't do that. Has anyone else ever had this? What's this all about? I don't overclock the graphics card. I'm not aware of it overheating. In fact, where's my MOC? Dark? I might just give the PC to our MOC for him to overhaul whilst I'm away. And by overhaul, I mean Hoover. Probably could do with some thermal pasting as well, to be honest. Yeah, flight designs. You needed. So is anyone else getting this at the moment? Is it just me? Is this a flight sim bug that a few of you are getting? I'm not sure what's causing that. But yes, don't press OK because your sim will crash. Philip, what happens in the event of a crash to desktop? Do I just salute to where if there was before? It depends really what's happening. Oh, cancel that. Flight sim thing. 3,000 feet to go. We're headed out over Southampton. Yeah, Lulu, let me know if you see that. And Stooge UK, I don't overclock anything. I don't even know how to do that. Never got never got that far. I'm using the PC, you know, it's doing a lot anyway with streaming and flying with Microsoft Flight Simulator, lots of hardware as well. Ballsview says, used to get it occasionally, no idea why it happens, not had it for a while though. Fair enough. Mao, which set am I using in Atmos? So I'm using my own set, which you can use as well. EasyJet SimPilot set. You see, it's this kind of thing. So, see this little layer of cloud that we've got here? If I turn Atmos off, let me do that. Turn that off. This just, I don't know, it just looks a bit fake. Looks a bit weird. Not sure I like that. But the moment I reapply all three of the settings to Atmos, and look, it for me it looks much better. I do, honestly, I think it looks much better. 1,000 feet to go, we'll do our top of climb checks, fuel checks, etc. What time will we be in Faro? About 10 to 6. That's not really my life happening. Flight designs, let me show you that error again. I've got to be very careful as I do this. There it is. Jordan B, check the resolution settings on my second monitor sometimes. Oh, okay. I think they're the same. They should be, as far as I'm aware. Alt star. And I'll cruise. So yeah, my car cruise. My MOC flight design is now going to go and do a bit of homework. So we'll set that to below. We'll set our cost index back to, what was it? 37? 34. Check through the SD pages. So we've used about 2 ton of fuel, which is spot on, no fuel leaks. Pressurization system's working, electric system's working, hydraulics are all good. Fuel's fine. Obviously a slightly different refueling page as well for the 321. No inner and outer tanks. Temperature's good, all doors closed, lots of doors in our 321 of course. Yeah, all systems good, apart from that left side stick. Elapsed time, Lulu, was 22 minutes. We've just reached. Yeah, 22 minutes. Probably about right. What were we? 70. We were nearly 80 tons at departure. Well, that's a great view of Southampton down there. Actually, I think Southampton might be more directly behind us, but yeah, that looks good. Studio UK, no problem. See you next time. Kirk, the mix seems a little quiet today. Do you know, my PC keeps resetting the levels on my mic. Let's see if I can do something about that. actually remember where it was I went to fix this. Oh yeah, for some reason it had dropped right down. Am I suddenly a lot louder now? Is that any better? Probably. Just want to be careful I don't end up being too loud for you guys. Sorry. Yeah, the PC does daft things sometimes. Right. I have no idea how to save that. Silly thing. Well, hopefully it will remain like that, but yeah, I noticed I was recording a video earlier on in the week, and when I was listening to it back I thought, that sounds very quiet. Viviancat, is there a way to make my sky look like that, or is it just the basic setup? Rex Atmos is what's really making the difference. Right, so we are in Maroc, or we are at Maroc. Let's do some fuel calculations then. So we said we've got about 1.5 tons more fuel on board. Find Maroc. So we should have. Let me have a look. Did I say 1.5 tons? Yes, yeah. So we've got 1.5 tons of extra fuel plus the 8.8 that we've got there. We should have about 10.3 tons of fuel on board then, as we've passed Maroc, and we've got. Oh, we've got 10.8. Loads more. Kirk, I'm glad that's better for you. Vibencat, yes, Rex Atmos is a paid for piece of software. I only think it's about £14. I know it's not a lot, but it can be to some people to spend on add-ons and things. But as I keep saying, if you are going to get it, use the Contrail discount code there down below, and you can obviously get it you can get it a little cheaper. Which, to be fair, anything we can do to save you money is always worth doing, of course. Ludwig says, sometimes my sim textures can get very grainy, like trees, asphalt, etc., especially in sunny areas. Anyone know why? Probably need a picture of that to have a look exactly what's going on. Right, let's have a look at this company message. I'm very intrigued on the company message that we got a little bit earlier on, for those of you that were here. This is new. When did this get added? Nice. So we can now get ATIS requests. Network on VATSIM, IVAO. Okay, so they will obviously only work if they're actually live. That's fair enough. What was I going to do? I can't remember what I was going to do now. Oh, yes. We were delayed by 7 minutes. Yeah, that was engine start problems. So, let's have a look at the delay allocation card, see what we've got. How can we appease the bosses? ATC en route slot, runway change, no. No, it wasn't a ramp delay, engineering delay, ground equipment, incorrect route, no route, refueling, defueling, inbound flight, self-maneuvering stand, other. No, OTH. What was it, for 7 minutes? I could really worry the bosses back on the ground and say broken engine. There, that'll sort them out. But yeah, a little bit earlier on we also got this message. What's that? Oh, they've received it. Yeah, look at this. This is quite cool. VIP movement restrictions, airspace, expect, holding, end of message. Now, I am using, for those of you that watch the channel a bit, you'll see me using and reviewing a piece of software called Real ACARS. So Real ACARS does send ACARS messages that are, some of them based on real life. So it would be interesting to know if there's some VIPs coming into Stansted today. Hey Wayne, your discount code didn't work for the contrail lamp. Have you used it before, Wayne? The discount code that you've got there at the bottom is a one-time use only, so if you've used it for something else before, you can't use it twice, I'm afraid. Sorry. That's why it's always better to buy in bulk. Channel Islands then out to the east of us, and then we're just crossing over part of France. Yeah, that's true, Organ. You just create another account. So we've got a sort of 76 knot wind at this flight level, which is obviously a bit of a headwind. Let's see if we can do anything to try and help with that. Where are we at the moment? We are currently inbound Ebomo. So, and we're at 34. The winds are actually getting stronger the higher up we go, so flying higher up probably not going to help us that much. No real direction change either, so that's not going to help. Stay where we are. So as we're now flying towards France, we'll get some en route weathers, just in case. I mean, sadly, as we've seen in the news this week, anything can happen, can't it? So it's always worth knowing where you can dive into if you need to. Really sad to hear of that Turkish Airlines flight that had to divert. We went to JFK, I think it was, wasn't it?
The ground on guard, contact me please on 121.855.
So Nantes is a good shout. Which is Lima Fox. Hey Mona. Lima Fox Romeo Sierra. Oops, wrong way. We'll also have a look at Bilbao. Not been there for ages, and that is a gorgeous approach. We'll also have a look at Bordeaux as well. So Nantes is wide open. Bilbao's wide open. And Bordeaux also wide open as well. That's good. Lula says the Frontier 321 at Vegas was also a heck of a time. I don't know what that one was, Lula. I must have missed that one. If you want to share that with us, because I don't know what happened with that one. That is the kind of view that I'm sure people could mistake for being real. Lulu, smoke in the cockpit, masked up, shut down all non-essential electrics and cut the brakes and tyres on landing. The good news then, I'm guessing, is they did land and everything was safe, but smoke in the cockpit has got to be one of the scariest emergencies. I mean, it's quite often, isn't it? You wouldn't think it, but quite often you do hear of smells in the cockpit and things, you know, maybe a bit of oil or fluid or some sort of smell making their way through the ventilation. But yeah, I think smoke in the cockpit has to be the scariest thing that can happen. A fire on board at 30,000 feet is definitely a bad time. Ludwig, any news on when we're going to get the winglets for the Fenix? No release date yet, but they are well underway, so that's as much as I can say. Hey, Lapspeed, good to see you. Organ asks, has anyone else had issues with the Azobo servers this afternoon? Well, we had rubbish FPS, didn't we, when we first spawned in? It was terrible. seems okay now, I think. Loving that. What a view that is. But yes, that looks beautiful. Prayerful says Air Rangers M3 made an emergency light. Well, honestly, the amounts of things that happen that you rarely hear about. Incidents, I believe they're referred to. Not accidents or emergencies, but incidents. Lulu, smoke and fire in the dead of night whilst Oceanic was always the scariest scenario for me. Oh, it would be, obviously. There's few things I can think of that would compare with that. I mean, even if you lost both engines, you've got a chance. If you've got to even glide and ditch in the Atlantic, alright. It's a very bleak outlook, but at least you've got some control. With a fire, you're in the hands of God. Kirk, do I use my own preset in Atmos? Bobby Hoskins, do I know any way that we can set Rex Atmos up? No, it's really annoying they haven't included that feature. Maybe that will come in a future update, but yes, every time you load Rex Atmos you have to set everything back up again or use a preset that you've saved. Hey, Latvian controller, 1080 is my resolution. Dennis, Rex Atmos, my settings you can actually use as a preset, so you don't need to, you sort of don't need to see them. In fact, I don't think I've even shown them, but they are available for everybody to use. Yeah, if you just search for EasyJet SimPilot, that's all I called them. I didn't go into great detail, I literally called it EasyJet SimPilot and that was it. Now there's a little bit of a, speaking about, as Lulu mentioned, being oceanic and nowhere to go, etc. Yes, we say, yeah, most of us know the way that ended. This is this flight that we're doing now. If I just bring up the charts here, yeah. So obviously we're not oceanic, but have a look at this. So this section here, we'll do it when we. So we're over here at the minute. But when we're around here, if the worst happened and we lost both engines, I'll do some calculations, and well, suddenly then we would have an issue because I don't think we can reach land. Our glide ratio in the 321 is, I think it's about 17 to 1. So it basically means that we go down, for every meter down we glide 17 meters. Syrian, will there be an update on the A330? Which one? The Aerosoft A330? I think that's going to need more than just an update. Aviation Fitters, he recently bought the Fenix A320 about a month ago. When he applies power to take off, it doesn't move. Make sure you check this, because this can catch a lot of people out. Go into the ground services, and I can't show you because I'm not on the ground. There is a chocks and cones. You must make sure that's turned off. Make sure chocks and cones is turned off, otherwise yeah, it's not going to work. Live in control, have I applied for the 24 technical alpha? I have not. No. So it's also worth just speaking about that little moment ago. I said we're going to be flying over the well, technically over the Atlantic for a little bit here, aren't we? So it's worth here now just maybe updating the equitime point, picking a couple of airports, say maybe between sort of well, we've got Brest up here and Bilbao down here. So maybe halfway between those two. LFR RH, is that La Rochelle? It's not a massive airport, that is it? No, it's not La Rochelle. But yeah, if we go with because LFRB, which is Brest, that has a runway length of, oh, that's yeah, that's huge. That's 3.1 kilometers. So Lima Fox Romeo Bravo. Let's go into our equitime point and update this now. So between Lima Foxtrot Romeo Bravo and Bilbao. So just updating that, because now we've got an sort of halfway between the two land masses, look. So this is the point where we either continue on, you know, if something's gone wrong, we'll continue on, or if something's gone wrong, we'll head back towards land. Aviation Fin, a tutorial on my throttle settings. My throttle settings are really of no consequence because I use the Thrustmaster Captain's Pack, and they're just calibrated in the box for the Fenix aircraft. Hopefully my Atmos profile is just called EasyJet SimPilot. If you search for EasyJet SimPilot, you'll find it. Ooh, what's that up there? So leaving France now, almost. So yeah, just talking about that glide ratio. So obviously we work in nautical miles, don't we? I don't know the answer to this question, so I'm going to cheat and use Google. How many feet in 1 nautical mile? That is... oh, hang on, it's... it's trying to work it out, how many feet in 1 nanometer. That's not what I wanted. Right, there are 6,000 feet. 6,076 feet in 1 nautical mile. Wayne's talking in yards. No, 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 no. I don't even know what a yard is. If memory serves though, Wayne, weren't you a seafaring man at one point? You probably will use yards. Oh wow, just realised the moon's just risen. Organ, you were wondering why your FPS had dropped so much. Turns out you were running 1440 rather than 1080. Has an update though changed some settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator? I thought I'd heard that it had. I've not checked mine though, to be fair. Aircraft dead ahead. Random bit of cloud that we're flying through. That's the one thing I do want to see in Flight Sim 24, and that is cirrus clouds. What is that? The in-flight intercom has been upgraded with a silly sound effects option. Expect random sounds during announcements. What the hell does that mean? Organ, I'm using the wing flex. Yep. Wing flex for me. Ludwig, I've not tried Simbit World, the pilot career thing, as you say. Lulu says that's the American Airlines option. You get the credit card pitch once every hour. Well, as I was saying a little bit earlier on, I think we got interrupted. I never finished. Hey, Law Fox. Yes, we're on VATSIM. So I'm not around next week. I'm actually going away. I will be flying. I will be flying on. In fact, I'm taking 3 aircraft. So I'm going to be flying on a Qatar Dreamliner. I'll also then be on a 777 and then a Dash 8. So looking forward to that. Captain Mahoo, would anyone know how to get the V1 rotates? You mean the actual voice saying V1 rotate? You will need some add-on which gives you a co-pilot add-on for that. So yeah. Herfy, I'm not sure if I can rename the owner because it was done and created with a version of the software supplied by Rex. Obviously they're the owner. Gary, I don't have explained, so that's a bit of a non-starter for me, unfortunately. Straight on over there, see if we can see a little bit of land. Not much. Lulu says pilot monitoring callouts are in the options menu in the 777. Very good, very good. That's something the Fenix have not implemented. Someone needs to get on VATSIM. This has got to be a Boeing aircraft that's obviously flying far faster than I am. We're about an hour into the flight now, coming up, which means we're an hour and a half or so before we land in Faro. Organ, you should be able to email. I think details are on the website. Whitson, I don't have a virtual ally. No. The video I popped on a little bit earlier on this week about downscaling all my AI traffic liveries, I've done that not just for FSLTL but also for FSTraffic, because I use both, and that has been a huge space saver. No real detrimental effect on the sim either. Lulu, is that a 777? Of course it is. Of course it is. Look at the speed he's going. Ludwig, how do you find the barrow on the chart? You just guessed it. Oh, right, okay. So, I'm guessing, Ludwig, you will be using Jefferson charts, not Lido charts, which is fine. So if I just get up a Jefferson chart, if we have a look at where we're going today, which is LPFR, Faro, we're going to be arriving here. Okay, so these are the charts. This is only a Cat 1 runway, so no auto land today. The barrow are the large numbers, 224. So that's what you put in the barrow field. If you were doing an auto land and filling out the radio field, then you'd use the smaller numbers. Now, interestingly enough, Lido round these figures up. So, you can see it's 224 here. If I jump to the Lido charts... oh, that's not right. Hang on. So if I jump to the Lido charts, what was it? 224, did I say? If we come and have a look down here... Yeah, they round it up to 230. Fabian, what are the new engines for the A321? They are basically the more powerful CFM engines that you get for the 321. The Fenix team have updated them, so they've now got the proper engines, which is a lot of work they've had to do for that, to be honest. Thiago, I use my own settings in Atmos for this. Again, it's a preset that you can use and find on the Atmos program called EasyJet Sim Pilot. If there are multiple ones, Ludwig, it will be most likely it will be because there's a Cat 1, Cat 2 and a Cat 3. But usually if you're using Cat 2 or Cat 3 you're going to be doing an auto land, in which case you're using the smaller numbers, and you would be popping those into the radio field and not the Faro field. But I do have a video on the channel which speaks in depth about that auto landing, which ones to use. Say Toga, when you have an emergency and you want to land to a nearby airport as instructed by air traffic control, how to configure the destination runway? Well, first of all, if you've got an emergency, ATC don't normally tell you where to go. The whoever's pilot flying or is the commander will say, this is where we're going. And then it's ATC's job to make that happen. Ultimately, as the pilot flying, if you've got an emergency, you are in charge of where you're going. And you tell ATC, I'm going here. And once you've issued that Mayday call, then everyone else is out of is to be told to get out of your way, basically. And in terms of setting up for a landing, it's just the same as any other. Depending on what the failure is and why you've got an emergency, if you've lost an engine, then you'll need to do a couple of extra things, like your landing distance calculation needs to be checked, because it's not a normal landing, you've got a couple of things not working, etc. So yeah, and usually all that stuff, you've got one guy flying, you've got one guy monitoring. Normally the person monitoring will be doing that, you know, the old adage, aviate, navigate, communicate. One guy is aviating, because if you're not aviating, you can end up in trouble. Somebody has to fly the aircraft. So many times, sadly, there have been accidents and crashes and things gone wrong because somebody wasn't aviating. In fact, what was the really, really tragic one that was just, when you look back, it was just ridiculous, where they were fixated on, was it a landing gear light or something, a light, and they were pulling the lamp out, trying to get it to work properly. I think there were 3 flight crew, 2 pilots and an engineer, all focusing on this light, not realising all the time they'd told the aircraft to descend, hadn't checked it, and ended up in the ground. I can't remember which sad occasion accident that was, but yeah, very important that someone is flying. Lulu says, Captain discretion for emergency airfield, but you can always ask ATC for options if required. At that point, yeah, so as Lulu says, when there's a problem with your aircraft and you declare a Mayday, you are then, the air traffic control are there to serve you. They are there to serve you and help you in any way they can. Now, I've seen some awful videos on YouTube where a pilot has got a problem, he's requesting help from air traffic control, and air traffic control are just trying to cover their own backside, asking them questions which you know aren't relevant at all. I can't point you to these videos, but they are out there. You can find them, you can search them for yourself on YouTube. But the one that sticks in my mind is, I think some guy got a pressurization issue. It was a little private jet or something. Pressurization issue. You could hear the noise in the on the microphone when he's talking. He's having to shout in, saying he needs help. He needs a vector to a runway, and all air traffic control is saying is, can you confirm you've copied ATIS information Foxtrot? Well, no, of course he hasn't. The guy's door's blown off. He's in a panic. He wants help. All he wants is a vector. Get him somewhere safe. Forget about saving your backside. Help the guy out. And I find that sort of air traffic control really frustrating. 99% of the time, that's not going to happen. Air traffic control will bend it over backwards and help you. But this one particular video, I just, listening to the air traffic controller, it was putting barriers up to this guy who needed as much information as they could give him. Like, he was asking, I think he was also asking for what the ILS frequency was, and she's like, it'll be on your charts. And it's like, for all she knows, the chart's got to blown out the window. It's not conventional to ask air traffic control what the ILS frequency is. That's not what they're there for. But in the case of an emergency, the rules change, and ultimately that goal must be help get this aircraft on the ground safely. Mr. Saturday says it was a Delta TriStar into Miami. The sad part at the end of the investigation was it was just a bulb that was broken. The landing gear was absolutely fine. Yes. Yep. And it's so sad that a broken bulb could take those lives. Ludwig, Air France 447. Yes. Again, just watching it back in hindsight is frustrating, isn't it? But hindsight is a wonderful thing. Seitoga says, so you don't need to set up the emergency destination airport and runway on the way too. Well, Seitoga, yes, you do. It all depends. I mean, let's say we'd got a fire. Yeah, we got a fire. It was VMC. It was a beautiful clear day, and you can see that airport. You can see that airport. It's there. It's in front of you. It's clear. Now, you're still going to need a landing speed. But if you're an experienced pilot with hundreds of hours on type, you will know roughly what speed you can get down at safely. You know, if push comes to shove, say, worst case scenario, you were a single pilot because your first officer had gone back to help fight a fire, which that has happened before, and you are one single guy at the front, you haven't, and you've lost your autopilot, you've lost your control laws, you're in direct law, as it is in the Airbus. I personally wouldn't be faffing around trying to pop every... If I can see that airport, I wouldn't be faffing around trying to set my box up. I want to get this aircraft on the ground. I can see that airport. It's a 4-kilometre long runway, and we're not that heavy. I know a landing speed of 140 is going to get us there safely. I wouldn't be setting the box up. I'd be eyeballing that approach. So there are occasions where you don't need to do that. But remember, most situations, emergencies should never be a panicked situation, because panic can kill you. We've seen that with passengers. Remember Manchester, was it British Air Tours? Panic ensued, and lots of passengers that should have got off that flight didn't sadly make it because the panic overwhelmed them. Panic in the flight deck at the front can also kill. And it must be really hard not to panic in that situation. And that's where your training has to kick in. And I speak a little bit from experience here. So recently I was practicing engine failures after takeoff. This was in real life, by the way. I was doing engine failure after takeoff, and we'd climb up to about 500 feet, 750 feet, and then we just cut power. And it's suddenly, well, we're not going to make it back. Where are we going to land? And that, the first few times we did it, sort of like a bit of panic sets in, and you think swear words that I'm not going to say live on stream, and then you suddenly realise that that panic is going to work against you. Don't panic. Keep your cool. You know the plane is going down. The question is, where is the safest place to put it? So steer it away from built-up areas. Find a field, aim for that field, and do it at your best glide speed. Which we did. We didn't actually land in the field. That would really have upset the farmer. But you know what I mean. The panic is something you really have to fight against. And that is really good advice that a lot of pilots emulate, that Lulu's just said. When the proverbial hits the fan, sit on your hands and don't do anything. Take stock, even if it's just for 10 seconds, which might feel like a lifetime. But yeah, just sit on your hands and think, right, what's happened? Can we fix it? What are we going to do? How do we get the best outcome? Lulu, a startle factor is such a big thing. Definitely. Definitely. The first time I practiced engine failure after takeoff, I thought I needed to go back to the airfield and change my trousers. Because, yeah, was not expecting it. Even though I knew we were going to be practicing it, the moment you do it, and you have to push the plane, you have to push the nose down. If you pull the nose up to try and gain altitude, you're going to kill yourself. You have to push that nose down and just accept the fact we're going down. Let's make the best of that bad situation. Darmok says, getting as much info as I can now before my sim in January. A birthday gift, A320 sim. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Freezer, is an RNAV with LPV considered a precision approach? No. Say Togo, which airport side stick do you use? I use the Thrustmaster side stick. Right, must be time for another fuel calculation. I'll do that in 5 minutes or so as we approach Balder. Gonzalo says Faro Garen is open. Excellent. We'll get some ATIS then in a little bit. So Bilbao, which was one of our alternates, is over here. Now, EasyJet also fly into Sierra Tango and Charlie Oscar. I've forgotten the name of these. But I think it's quite windy on that coast a lot of the time. All the weather currently is there. They're not the longest runways in the world, so I probably wouldn't want to take a 321 in there if it's been degraded in some way. Lulu says you can do all the Telegraph V1 cuts in the sim. If you're unlucky enough to get one on the line, it's going to be the one day that you earn the big bucks. Well, did you all see, lots of you will have seen the recent, was it Lufthansa? Coronu and Santiago. Thank you, Christian. Hey, Christian. Good to see you. Did you all see the Lufthansa get a bird strike just after rotation? Almost literally as it was rotating. Yeah, very, very good piloting, of course. And like you say, you don't know it's going to happen until it happens. Winds 150 at 12 there. Oh, actually, that's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. Alex Oz, this is the Airbus A321. Right, let's do a fuel check. Commander Freezer, when was this? No, only about a month ago. If you type in on YouTube, if you find on YouTube Lufthansa engine failure on takeoff or something, you'll find it. It's still very, it's still very fresh. Les Lula says that thing did not want to climb. No, no, it didn't. I can't remember what aircraft it was, whether it was 320, 321, but it just carried on, literally. It was hovering above the runway for a couple of 100 feet as it did not want to go up. Right, let's do the checks. We are coming up to Balda now. So we should have about 7.8 tons of fuel on board as a minimum. Oh, we've got 8.3. We've got loads. And we've got cloud. That's ruining my view. We're not in the icing range, so that's fine. Cancel master caution. Disregard the side stick error. Oh, nobody likes the A340 though, do they? Everyone thinks the A340 is an absolute mess of an aircraft to try and climb. Or taxi around because of its wingspan. And thank you for subscribing. Cloud surfing now. Christian, you still want an A340 in the sim? Well, that and VFR have just released their A340 as well, haven't they? I've not tried it. Four-engine jets are just expensive now, which is a shame because I think they look amazing. When I say expensive, I mean expensive to run. That's why airlines much prefer the two engines, and they're obviously a lot better now. So ETOPS isn't an issue. Say Toga, what is a must-have add-on for Flight Simulator? At the moment, I'd say Rex Atmos. That is the big one at the minute. Don't know what time the sun sets in Faro, but We are going to be landing on runway 10, I think, which means we're not going to have the sun in our eyes as we land, which is always a bonus. What the hell was that just went past? Did anybody see that? Oh, I thought a bird had just gone past. Either that or a bit of flak. It was a very dark spot that just caught my attention. It's not normal. Christian says the Qantas A380 flying the Australia to Africa route. That's a brand new route for us, the A380, isn't it? It's a good thing as they don't need ETOPS, and Lula says arguably ETOPS has actually made the business of Oceanic crossing safer due to the much higher equipment reliability and maintenance margins. Yes, thankfully. Touch wood, not that much goes wrong when crossing the oceans, etc. Which is a good thing, considering I'm on 3 flights next week. Hey, Flight Sim Ops says good afternoon. Is Rex Atmos not very complicated to find the right preset, or is there an all-in-one preset? There are presets available for you to just scroll through, pick one and find the one you want. The thing with Rex Atmos is there are 3 different sectors to it. There is the weather, the atmosphere and their environment. All 3 are independent of each other. You put all 3 on and yeah, just combine them and it can end up looking superb. Kirk says it was an F-22, well, just zipping by. And our beautiful A321. We are obviously Jet2 today. The problem is when we've got this high level cloud, frame rates are shocking. Something Flight Sim really needs to sort out. When we don't have the high level cloud, the frame rates are far better. Lulu says if you lose an engine on a quadjet, you're still going to be drifting down and looking for somewhere to land. Yeah, you wouldn't. If you're off the coast of Newfoundland, you're not going to continue across to Europe, are you? Lee Rose, afternoon, Captain. What's the first thing you'll do when Flight Sim 24 comes out? Buy it. If you mean what's the first thing I will do when I'm in it, I will probably jump in the Cessna, fly it around my local airstrip, see how good it is, see how realistic it is, and probably find my house. Let's face it, that's what everyone did when 2020 came out, so why change the habit of a lifetime? Commander Freezer, good question. So he asks, when you're configuring the aircraft for landing with your flaps, what makes you decide that now is the time for flaps 1, flaps 2, etc.? He says he understands that speed's a major factor here, but you don't want to lose it too soon because of the noise and high fuel bill. This is true. So every approach, Commander Freezer, is different. In a little bit, we'll be doing our approach and arrival brief for arrival into Faro. So stick with us for that. And basically, I will point out and say, right, this is where I'm going to do flaps 1, flaps 2, flaps 3. There are a few things that dictate to us. Now, you have to be flaps 2 before you get to 2,000 feet. So that is just a standard operating procedure. So that is a main thing. The other thing with flaps 2 is that's the flap configuration that adds all the drag, which is great because when you're on that glide slope, you need that drag because aircraft don't go down and slow down unless you've got some drag to help you. A rough estimate for flaps 1, usually about 12 miles, within about 12 miles out. And then flaps 3 and flaps 4, which are usually done very, very closely together, is normally when the gear goes down, which is between 5 and 6 miles. Or 1.5 and 2 miles if you're Ryanair. Yeah, so next week, flying out on Qatar. My wife keeps telling me that we need to look pretty smart as we rock up to the desk to drop the baggage off, because she's convinced if we dress smart, we'll get an upgrade. Like, I don't want to dress smart. I'm going to be slouching around on an aircraft. I want to be comfortable, not going in my finest. So overnight anyway, I'm going to be asleep. What difference does it make? Say Toga, gear down for flaps 2 or flaps 3? Usually flaps 3, say Toga. Fruit bat, top hat and tails. No chance. Say Toga, in my free time, what do I do with my family? Argue. Of course. Oh, cloud sticking up. I've only ever been on one Dreamliner before, Lulu. This will be my second experience on a Dreamliner. Commander Freezer, if you can be full configured by about 5 miles minimum, then you're usually good. There are some approaches, though, you need to be configured much earlier. Say Toga, when I say that gear down flaps 3, how do you decide? Is there a rule for when flap 2 should be down? Flaps 2 normally do that as the glide slope started to come down. If you can put flaps 2 out when your glide slope indicator is around here, then you get little lifts and it'll just lift you up into that glide slope. So flaps 2 when the glide slope's here, but definitely before 2,000 feet. And then I'm normally gear down flaps 3 around 6 miles. Lulu, what's the 777 equipment going to be? How on earth would I know that? I've got no idea. What aircraft is it going to be? I think it's going to be a 777ER. I think. Yeah, B77W. Okay, yes, so it's the 777-367ER, I believe. Say Toga, can you get the gear down when turning? You can, although that would be unusual, turning at 6 mile final. If you've got a turn 6 miles away from your runway, the chances are it's going to be a stabilised approach, which means that before that turn's happening, you're gear down, flaps 3, and at your approach speed, so that you're not having to faff around doing anything else. You're just concentrating on landing. Hey, DC. Yes, we get the General Electric 90 startups. Big engines. Say Toga, I don't use any weather add-on. It's all default. The only thing I do have is Atmos running, Rex Atmos. But if you are enjoying our Friday afternoon stream with these beautiful views, please don't forget to leave a like as well. So now we're heading down the coast of Portugal. There we see we've got Porto down here. Let's just check the weather for Porto. Might grab it for Lisbon as well, actually. So we've got a bit of rain in Porto, but visibility's fine. One more thing to check there. Which way's the winds? 170. Oh, that's good. So they're on the ILS approach there. The other runway there has only got an RNAV. And there we've got good weather as well for Lisbon. Okay, so the new feature, ATIS. Let's have a look at our arrival. I believe. I think we can get that now. If that's going to come through. Hey, Elliot.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy your trip.
Ah, lovely. So, arrival information Tango is current. Expect ILS Zulu approach runway uses 28. Oh! Okay. Wind 170 degrees, 11 knots. Visibility 8 kilometers. Cloud broken, 500 feet. Few clouds, a few CBs around 1,800 feet. Oh, lovely. Look at the temperature of the dew point as well, 21, meaning that the mist will be coming in. Ah, this could be an interesting approach. MFS 2020 321, thank you for the follow. Right, so let's have a look then. We are going to be doing a different arrival if they're using runway 20. Mr. Sensei says, speaking of Porto, Air Canada has launched the 737 MAX from Porto to Montreal. 7 hours on a MAX. Well, Wizz Air are going to be doing, is it 7 or 8 hours? Or something daft like that on a 321 XLR? I think even the CEO of Wizz Air said, you're not going to be comfortable. Right, let's change our runway. Runway 28 ILS Zulu. This will be coming in via Gebeti. Sotex 5 kilo then. We're not going to be doing that arrival anymore. Let's have a look what we've got. So I think we're going to now be coming in via Odemi, coming in on the Odemi 9 Alpha arrival. Let's check that out. Yeah, so we were coming in via this route over here. So what we will be doing instead is we might come in on the Marham 7 Alpha arrival, or the Alagu arrival. They're the options available to us, basically. The only other arrival is that Odemi 7 Bravo, but my word, that's a long way around. I don't fancy doing that. I'm thinking the Marham 7 Alpha might be better. Let's have a look. So if we're going to build this up ourselves, just put Marham into the box. Where is it? Right, so we can see it's actually after Sotex. So I think Sotex direct Marham, and then we'll pick up the Marham 7 Alpha arrival. Makes sense. Right, so before I start messing about with this, we'll just copy that active flight plan, and then after Sotex I'm going to pop in the ILS Zulu 28, Marham 7 Alpha. That comes in via Gebeti. Oh. What has that just done? Oh no, that's fine. Oof. I worried me there. Yeah, Baldi, Muti, Ibdid, top of descent, and then Marham arrival. That's fine. Now we'll just have a look, make sure we've got speed constraints or altitude constraints, so above 4,000 feet at Marham, just avoid that terrain that's underneath us. Still above 4,000 feet at 607, and then we get to Gebeti above 3,000 feet. There's a hold at Gebeti if we needed it for whatever reason. And then let's just have a look at the ILS Zulu for 28. Commander Fraser, I'll be with you in a minute. MFS 2020-321, good afternoon or evening. Yeah, there's Gepti and nothing out of the ordinary there. Right, let's do our landing distance calculation then. We've just got the weather for us as well. Weather's still not got any better at 34,000 feet, has it? Commander Fraser, we're using the Atlas Zulu. What's the difference between the Zulu X-Ray Yankee? You've seen different ones with the same runway. The difference is normally something like the go-round procedure. So let's just have a quick look. I've got time to do it. So this is the Zulu arrival. Obviously comes in via Gepti for runway 28. And if you have a look at the go around, it's climbed 2,000 feet and basically turn left to Gimel. If I now have a look at the 28 Yankee arrival, right, okay, so the Yankee arrival here is what's called the teardrop approach. Rather than coming in via a star and taking you to line up with and intercept the ILS, this approach, the Yankee approach, has you fly straight over the airfield and then fly outbound from the Victor Foxtrot Alpha VOR on a 133 radial, and then when you're 8 miles from that, start a left turn to come back in. So they're just different approaches. But some of them have different go-arounds as well. But yeah, that's not the one we're doing, obviously. Right, landing calculation. So first thing we need to know for that, of course, is how heavy we are going to be when we land. So, sorry, I got sidetracked there for a moment. So our zero fuel weight is 666. Our estimated fuel when we land is 5.6, meaning our landing weight is going to be 72.2. Let's be conservative and call our landing weight 73 tons then. We're going to be landing on 28. It is... Ooh, we're going to go with... look, we can just see there, it's also had some recent showers of rain. So, a couple of things we need to do first, and if the runway is wet. We need to do medium port. We need to apply that METAR. Our landing weight is... What did I just say? We're going to base it on 73 tons. I think I said. Right, don't be concerned about that, the fact that it's shot straight off there. All this is a standard operating procedure to see whether we are going to be allowed to use maximum reverse thrust when we land. Which, looking at that, we are. So, the actual weather conditions are going to be good, auto brake medium, and that's flaps 3, flaps 4. So it's looking like medium auto brake and a flat full landing, and that will get us in. Hey J-Hog! Jordan, can we fly into Funchal? We can, Jordan. Not today though. Right, so that's going to be our landing configuration. Landing with a bit of a tailwind as well. So that's worth bringing into the brief in a little while. So let's start setting up the box before we brief. I mean, top of descent is about 200 mile away, which is a lot, I know, but if we're all set up, then there's less to do. So just checking that our approach looks good, which it does. That's all connected up and fine. RadNav page, there is a VOR on field, Victor Foxtrot Alpha. So we'll hard tune that. Progress page, we're coming into Lima, Papa, Foxtrot, Romeo, runway 28. Let's do our performance page then. So the current QNH is 1011. Temperature there is 21 degrees. Nice. Wind currently 170 at 11. Told you there was going to be a nice crosswind landing today. Transition altitude's 4.5. It's 4,000 according to the chart, so we'll just alter that. That's full landing, and the minimums. Yeah, this runway's got a Cat 2. We're not going to be doing it though. 220 for the barrel. So if we were coming in on runway 10, it was only a Cat 1. Runway 2 has a Cat 2, which means that if the weather's rubbish, then we can get in there. But we can't get down to Cat 3 minimums, so there is still a runway visual range of 300 meters. Avian Dairy, mate, thanks for joining us. Commander Freezer, who'd be interested in using the shorter approach, maybe GA business jets? Yeah, they can do. What are our minimums there? 220. Even with the mist and cloud base, I think 220 should be fine. And the second flight plan will leave as is for now. Hey Avian Dairy, thanks for joining. Right, we're all filled in. Time to enjoy a cup of tea now for the next, well, what, we're going to be landing, a little over half an hour, I reckon. Oh, Mark, fish and chips. Great idea. Have a great weekend, Mark. See you next time. J-Hug says Darkon he had fish and chips while he was there. I've told him I'm gonna put my aircraft in for maintenance at his whilst I'm away next week. Oh, those clouds are starting to break, and that looks that looks really cool. How good's that look? That is neat. I like that. Almost looks like a GoPro camera. These though, these clouds really knacker my frame rates up. Flight Design's best call ahead and book it in. You're my MOC! How busy can you be? Fruitbat, yes I am. That should, hopefully, be filmed, done, and ready to go before I go away. Lula says the Easy 777 is still in the paint shed. I know, I want to do the... but I really want to do the route that you suggested a while back. Over in the US. Diviz, there's no SID charts included. Sorry? I'm not with you on that one. Speaking of airlines and new liveries and things, I'm my lad's really excited to see this global airline. He seems obsessed with this Global Airlines A380. Have you guys been following it? It went to Dresden, didn't it, the other day from Press Week? Aviation Radar, have I flown the 737 MAX, the iFlight? No, I've not. But I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's any good or not because I'm not an Airbus. Whoops, don't clip that. I'm not a Boeing guy. So I can't help you with that, I'm afraid. Charlotte to Miami, Lulu. Yes, that's the one. To look, what kind of new engines? Oh, they're just the slightly more powerful engines that the real world 321s have. Diviz, the charts that describe how to fly the SID. I'll be honest, I've never looked at those. I just read the normal charts. I tell you what. That on screen there, Rex Atmos, is making that look superb. Say Toga, is it possible in the Fenix get an ETA? Yeah, oh, absolutely. So we are looking to land at 16:51. UTC time, of course, remember. Might, now those clouds are cleared, have some beautiful views over... well, I think actually we're over Portugal. Might almost be flying down the border. But that looks awesome. Toga, so you need to do the calculation of the ETA manually. Well, he gives you the time, doesn't it? We're going to land at 17:50. So, hang on, I'm confusing local time and Zulu time. We're going to land at 16:51, which, you know, is in 40 minutes. So that's about as much manual work as you have to do. I'm absolutely loving that view. For those of you who haven't noticed the difference between Rex Atmos and default, Atmos is on. Let me turn it off. There you go. That is default, and I don't think that looks anywhere near as good. So I'm going to turn Atmos back on. J-Hog, see you later. Reinstalling the sim. Of course, it's Friday. Has to reinstall the sim every Friday. Crazy. Oh, Dark's actually built you a new PC, J-Hog. Lovely. Does my aunt know? Nicholas, what do I think of the new CFM engines from the A321? They are working, which is great. Yeah, they're just... You get more realistic figures, fuel burn and performance. I mean, just adding a new engine is a lot of work. The Fenix team have had to do a lot of work to get that sorted, and obviously Sharklets are on the horizon as well, so... Yeah, be good, be good. Right, not sure if we could put the 80s just yet. Let's let me just have a quick listen.
Kilometers. Cloud. Broken at 600 feet. Broken at 1,000 feet. Temperature to what? 2.20 QNH1010. Acknowledge LPFR information uniform.
We could just get the rest of that, then we'll do an arrival brief.
Faro Airport rated uniform. 1,600 feet. Expect ILFC approach. Runway MU28. Transition level 55. Wind 190 degrees 11 knots. Visibility 8 kilometers. Cloud. Broken at 600 feet. Broken at 1,000 feet. Temperature to what? 2.20 QNH1010. Acknowledge LPFR information uniform.
Right, that's all the information we need off
Faro
that.
Airport rated uniform. 1,600 feet.
Okay then guys, so if we are all ready for the briefing, we'll do that now. We're about 80 miles away from top of descent, which is a good place to do it. Let me just grab the charts and then we'll go through it all. I've got the wrong chart installed at the minute. Here we go. Okay, so we are, yeah, we're about 42 miles from Idbid, after which we're then going to be going direct to the start of our arrival at Marim. We're coming out of the Marim 7 Alpha arrival. Which is a change. We've had a runway change whilst we've been in flight, so that's fine. So when we get to top of descent, we'll get all the way down. Obviously, we'll stick to the constraints and things. So above 4,000 feet at Marim, and then basically above 3,000 feet by the time we get to the IAF, which is Gepti. bit of a terrain as we're coming in, so a little threat here. We could see 3,500 feet, but obviously if we're sticking to the constraints, that is not going to be a problem for us. Once we get to 607, that's when we can start to sort of get ourselves down, and we know then we're safe of all terrain because we're coming in basically over the Mediterranean. So in terms of setting ourselves up, how we're going to fly this approach, let's talk about that first, then we'll talk about some other things. So my plan will be, there's no speed restrictions on this arrival, so the plan for me will be green dot as we approach 607, so ideally green dot speed at 607. As we leave 607 and are approaching Gepti, maybe just before we get to Gepti, flaps 1, so flaps 1 and speed 180. Once we get to Gepti then, let me get the charts for the ILS approach, 28 Zulu, that's the one. Yeah, when we get to Gepti then we will pick up the we'll probably start to pick up the ILS, and then we'll be flaps 1 at this stage, about 180 knots. Flaps 2 as we start to pick up the glide slope. Platform altitude for this is low, it's 2,000 feet, so once we've passed Gepti we can wind the altitude down to 2,000 feet, probably in VS mode, just to nicely capture the glide slope. As we're catching the glide slope, flaps 2. Remember, flaps 2 must be selected before we get to 2,000 feet anyway. MSA as we're coming down here at this point then is 3,000 feet and then 1,400 feet. More or less you can just see we're kind of on that line between the two. As we come in then, it's a normal 3-degree glide slope. 45 metre wide runway, so that's normal. We've got Pappies on the left to look for, and we're doing the Cat 1 approach. Now there are reports of mist coming into the area and low cloud. Cloud is 600 feet broken, so we're going to probably pop out of that, and we've got about well yeah, we'll have about 400 feet before we need to decide can we see that runway and continue. Minimum descent altitude obviously is the minimum is 220 feet. We've got that already set. In terms of threats, I'll speak about that in a moment. Let's have a look at the go around. The go around straightforward, so it's straight out, climbing away, and at 2,000 feet, once we're above 2,000 feet, it's a left hand turn towards waypoint Gimel, where we'll take up the hold. I don't know if we've got yes, 3,000 feet is missed approach, so I was just looking for that. We can see that's just there, so missed is 3,000 feet. Not a very high missed approach, to be fair, so be on the ball with that if we have to go missed. So yeah, it all seems pretty straightforward. After we've landed, bring up the airport. Here we go. So once we've landed then we'll probably vacate either Fox or Romeo Golf, Papa if we've rolled a bit long, and we're taxiing back on Papa, and we'll park somewhere in front of the terminal. If ATC are on land, they'll tell us where to go anyway. So let's now talk about the threats. So the biggest threat for me on this particular approach, obviously we've got that terrain to the north of the airport, which we've already seen, but the biggest threat for me on this approach is going to be the weather. We've got a decent crosswind, about 11-12 knots, and it is from the south, so as our runway runs in this direction, our wind is a good strong crosswind from sort of this direction, so it is a 90-degree crosswind, which is quite rare. So that's going to be interesting. The fact we've also got low-level cloud and mist potentially in the forecast as well. The fact that we've got a decent wind probably means the mist isn't going to cause us a problem. You wouldn't tend to get mist when we've not got much wind to basically blow it away. But essentially what we're getting today is a sea breeze, which is for this time of year pretty normal. So yeah, they're the two biggest threats. A little crosswind from the left as we're coming in, so I can already sort of set up my mindset as we're coming in. We're going to be nose pointed to the left, and then as we start to thrust levers idle and just start to pull back a little bit, I'm going to need some right rudder just to correct that and align us with the runway as we're coming into land. So yeah, that's my biggest threat. Low level cloud, potential as well for a shower of rain which could obscure the view, and that little crosswind. So other than that, it's pretty straightforward. The only other threat is that they've run out of custard slices when we get there. Hopefully that has all made sense. Our final checks, just go through the box, make sure that everything we've just briefed is set up. So there is the Magnum 7 Alpha arrival. I've already gone through and made sure that this is all connected, and that's fine. Right now we've got Victor Foxtrot Alpha, that's the VOR, so that's fine as well. 130 miles to go. Christian's just noted as well in the latest METAR there's a chance of a thunderstorm. That has not yet been reported, but it has got a small probability. I think that was a prob 30, which in fairness probably means it's not going to happen. That might happen later on in the evening, but not for us today. Let's go on to the next approach phase. So yeah, QNH is 1010. Let's just update this as we've just got information. Uniform temperature is have I not written that down? I'll update that in a minute. Winds 190 at 11. And flaps full landing as well. Lulu, I think it's a tempo 30 for the thunderstorms. So yeah, I think we'll be safe from those. I don't think it's warm enough. I just want to grab the latest METAR for the temperature is 21 degrees, so that's not changed. So yeah, all good, all set up. Relax now, all we have to do is carry it out. Go back to enjoying our nice views. Glad all that hell of a cloud cleared. Oh, one other thing to add to the brief, because we had reports of recent showers of rain. When we land, I will use max reverse. And we just went through the standard operating procedure of using of checking that was a possibility. Oh, other threat as well. No one mentioned this in the chat. We've got a tailwind for the approach. It's only 4 knots, but it's there. So yeah, so a tailwind and reverse thrust. A couple of other things to bring into the brief. Lulu, it always. I don't actually know the answer to this. I don't know if you do, but it always made me wonder. There's a tempo 30% chance something's going to happen, so it's probably not. Disregard that, as you say. But then they go tempo 40%, and then suddenly it's that's definitely that's going to happen. So we need to be ready for that. But 30% and 40%, they're still very small percentages. But tempo 40 is usually, it's going to work. Why is there not a tempo 80, 70, 60, 50, or even a 30, 50, 80, you know? It's always made me chuckle, that. You only ever see 30 and 40. And there's such a difference in between what those two actually mean. If you've enjoyed the stream today, guys, please don't forget to hit that like button. It does make a big difference to our streams and to the channel. And a shout out as well to all our new subscribers. Our latest one, Chicago Pilot. Thank you for subscribing. Boeing going? You don't have the iFly? No, I don't go with Boeing. I'm definitely not going with Boeing. And especially not a 737. I like my doors where I can see them. Hey, Matthew. Matthew says don't overthink it. He gets to the airport. If it's storming, he's going somewhere else. If it's good, he's going to land. Christian says that Gibraltar weather is way better. I'm not taking this thing into Gibraltar. I'm not even sure I'd be able to stop there. Landing distance required is 1966. How long's the runway in Gibraltar? About 18. That's not happening. Harry, I just don't like the 737. I think it should have been put to bed years ago. Say, Togi, in real life, what does the autopilot button, the red button on the side stick do? Disconnects the autopilot, and if you press and hold it, it also gives you priority control over the other side stick. Christian, of course, Christian took the Antonov 225 into Gibraltar. Did you stop? Did you stop in time? Hey, Cam. I am using Atmos, yes. There's some very wavy clouds up there, aren't there? Right, time to go down. Thrust side low descent and 190 blue. Faro ground is online, which is 11858. Just preset that. Danish pilot, happy Friday to you. Right, pull speed, set 185, just keep that speed up as we get down, just catch up with the profile. I was a bit late at the top of the descent. Not entirely unrealistic, ATC can keep you high. Adam Chino, Atmos doesn't have sort of live weather injection. It does have a form of weather injection. Check out my video on it. It'll take you through what it does do, what it doesn't do. Commander Fraser says an Antonov 225 at Gibraltar, wouldn't the wingspan just cut the buildings on half on either side? Yeah, I don't know. Not something I've ever done. Mert, I do indeed use the TCA side stick, that's right. Just add another 10 knots to that speed. Help us get down. It's usually comfortable for passengers till you start to get to about 6,000 feet per minute, then they begin to notice. But just looking at the navigation display now, you see we've got the intercept there, so I think we'll be fine. Keep an eye on the VDEV and see if it starts to drop, which it is doing. We might use a bit of spoilerage. Hey Kilo, have we done a flight Gatwick to Kefalonia? I wouldn't know. Google, not Google, but on YouTube, type in EasyJet Impilot and Kefalonia and see if anything comes up. Don't type in Gatwick because we've done hundreds of flights to Gatwick. Christian says turn off the packs, then they won't notice anything. What, as they gradually fall asleep? Wake them up on the ground with a bumpy landing. Just keep an eye on this traffic here. It's about 10 mile out. My first officer see it. Charlie 39 mate, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, I appreciate that. Hope you've had a nice flight with us this afternoon. You're here for the good bit. Adam says hello from Astana. Lula says open the outflow valves whilst we're up on the pressure panel. Do you not like my passengers, you guys? Where's my landing system on? Don't need that on yet. Okay, we're going to keep that descent coming. Flight level 80. First side level descent, 80 blue. Right, turn the lovely background music off as we begin to concentrate. Lulu says all the passengers are wishing they were on that 777 that zoomed into the distance at 38,000 feet about an hour ago. They fly so fast, don't they, compared to our little 320s? Right, I'm going to let the aircraft drop below profile a little bit, then we'll probably pop it back into managed descent. We'll use VS. Project CR7, the thing with that A318 that British Airways had flying into JFK from London City is it was quite a luxurious aircraft. I mean, it had to be. You know, it didn't carry that many people, so... Iceman, if you're only getting LDEV and VDEV in the primary flight display, you have not got your aircraft set up for an ILS approach properly. You have got it set up for an RNAV approach. Has been struggling with the landings of the Fenix. Any tips for you? Every landing is different, is the first big tip. And I could give the sort of general rule of cut the thrust about 30 feet and then start the flare, but everyone's different. So today, for example, we've got a tailwind, so I may cut the thrust a little bit sooner, maybe about 40 feet, and start the rotation a little bit earlier. It's not rotation, is it? You know, start the flare, sorry, a little bit sooner as well, just because we've got the tailwind. When you've got a headwind, you hardly need to pull back at all and flare, because the wind really helps and does it for you. But there is a video on the channel about knowing how and when to flare, which might be worth checking out if you're still struggling with landing. Also, another threat which I've not mentioned, should have mentioned, of course, we're in the 321, tail strike. Don't overflare this aircraft. How do I open descent instead of following the path? Just to get underneath it a little bit, and then I've got a bit of time to slow down. Right, QNH 1011, and I've just set 4,000 feet, which I'm now going to use a bit of VS for. And just watch as we move that. And 10,000 feet. Landing lights on, approach checklist. So our barrier FQNH is 1011. Seatbelt signs are on, minimums 220, auto brake medium as briefed, and EFB is stowed. I've got high speed approval, Christian, there's no one else around. Plus, I've got to go pick the kids up from swimming. So I am looking at the clock a little bit. I've just popped into open descent whilst we bring her back to 250. John T, hey mate, how you doing? Thanks so much for the tier 1 sub. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you are as well. Lulu says she'll use that the next time the cops stop her. Yeah. Got to pick the kids up from the school. From the pool, even. But then don't tell them you're going to drop the kids off at the pool. That means something very different. Right, landing system is on. India Tango Fox is identified. No, it's not. India Fox is identified. And let's activate the approach phase. Temperature's warm enough. We will not need the anti-ice. Little bit of cloud surfing coming up now. Faro traffic, Chanix 2 Victor November, inbound from the north, waypoint Foxtrot Romeo 607, on the mid-up 7 Alpha arrival for ILS runway 28. Showers of rain, mist, and wind update is 190, 40 knots. Excellent, we'll feel that. Let's quickly update that. 190 at 14. QNH is still 1010. That's our temperature. Is that still 21 degrees? Yes, it is. Lovely. 40 knot crosswind. I don't think... It's been a while since we've had a full-on 90-degree crosswind landing, so this will be fun.
Cabin crew must now be seated for landing. Thank you.
Right, let's push for managed speed. We've activated our approach phase, haven't we? Yes. .3,000 feet. Still in open descent. Could be very interesting as well. Remember, we're only going to pop out the clouds almost at the last 20 seconds or so, and we are not going to have the runway bang on line with us. We're going to be pointing to the left, so it's going to be an interesting picture we emerge to. Tony in the hole, this is the Fenix cabin announcement. Not quite on final yet, Pete. Good to see you though. So we are going to have a little bit of a tailwind with landing. Well, a good headwind at the moment because we're right on the cusp of the glide slope. So let's start configuring then as briefed. Flaps 1, speed's checked. Flaps 1, pull speed 180. So glide slope, walk blue, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2. So we've now passed GEP-T, and I can wind the VS now down to 2,000 for the platform altitude, which I have done. I'm pulling VS, and I'm going to select 600. Aviator it is default weather, default live weather, but with Rex Atmos over the top. Total and whole, we did the flap decision making back in the brief. We're now just basically sticking to it. So you can see we're literally just riding below that glide slope, which is fine because we can't get the glide slope until we've got the localizer, but the localizer is about to come and join us, so we should now get a full house, which is what I like. It's a perfectly planned descent, a nice CDA as well from the top. So now I'm going to go flaps 2, lift us into the glide as the lock star comes in. So flaps 2, speed's checked, flaps 2. Glide slope, lock star, perfect. Faro traffic, Chanex 2 Victor November, 10 mile final, runway 28. Church Mouse, thank you for following. Missed approach altitude, now we've captured the glide slope, we'll set that, which is 3,000 feet. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, this, given the circumstances with the crosswind, etc. The clouds. Radio altimeter is alive. So I'm now going to concentrate on the landing and how that looks. Lovely wind from the left. And a lot of glare from the sun. Rex Atmos also helping with that. Please hit your like button now, before the landing. Right, so we're about 6.5 miles, so let's configure for landing. So gear down, manage the speed, flaps 3, speed's checked. See you later, Flight Designs. A little bit of rain as well, as we can see there. And flaps full. Landing checklist. So, our cabin is secure. Go around altitude 3,000 feet. Set Eco memo landing. No. Oh, where's the runway? To be fair, we've got a while to go yet. But it's not going to be in front of us, it's going to be over here somewhere. As we're drifting onto it. That glare is making it very difficult to see. 1,000 feet. If we need to go around it straight out runway track, 2,000 feet, turn left. The runway just coming into view now. Five hundred feet. There we go. We're stable. Autopilot 5 control.
100 above.
Not sure those pappies are accurate. Continue. I'm happy with the picture.
Traffic runway 70 Golf Lima, departure runway 28.
Are you kidding me?
Light slow. 40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Ooh, that took a while to get the nose down. Yeah, it's not entirely sure the glide slope and the pappies were properly aligned there. Faro traffic, runway 28 vacated. Typical Ryanair. Faro Grand, Oceanic 2 November Victor. Oh, they've gone offline. Never mind. That was obviously not the greatest landing. That plane really did put me off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off.
Where's the taxiway textures gone?
Faro traffic, Viking 2248 on final runway 28. Faro traffic.
Our ground crew will help you complete your journey.
Looks like someone's painted the taxiway brown. We'll check out the replay in a moment. That fire truck's there for me. But yes, very, very difficult to see as we were coming in because of the glare. Saw the runway in time though, so it was all legal. But the yeah, I'm not convinced those pappies were entirely accurate. Right, I'm just going to turn her straight on to the parking stand because then we'll check out the replay. I'll have to remember to come off VATSIM for that though, because that would really annoy anyone that's just on finals at the minute. Either way guys, welcome to Faro. Bit of a Ryanair landing unfortunately, but never mind. Right, let me just come off of VATSIM, so we've done that. Thank you for anyone who's flown alongside us. Let me set up the replay then, and we'll have a look back. Might get some great immersive effects though from Parallel 42 Sim FX here with the humidity and cloud that we've got. A little bit of rain shower as well. I don't know if you noticed that as we were coming through that cloud layer. Either way though, looked very good. DS, what are the new engines? They're just the slightly more powerful engines that the bigger engines that the 321s have. Stuttering there, isn't there, as the aircraft's coming in. Not quite sure what's going on there. Let's just check the other side out. A few of those nice new engines. And there you can see the sim effects. Yeah, you can see I didn't get enough rudder in there for the runway alignment. I think my mind was focused on the aircraft. But anyway, we're down, we're safe, we're there, and we can use the aircraft again. Always a winner. Right guys, I'm going to have to shoot off, but not sure when our next live stream will be, because as I say, I am away now. I'll be away all of next week until sort of a week on Wednesday, so it will be quite quiet here on the channel. I will be available on Discord though. I'll still be knocking around there, so if anyone needs me for anything specific, you can always get in touch. But guys, thank you so much for thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our Friday afternoon stream. If you have, of course, please don't forget to hit the like button. It honestly does make a massive difference, those of you that have pressed that, so thank you so much. Our EasyJet Sim Pilot channel members, as always, a massive thanks guys for your continued support as well, and I'm going to leave you as always with our replay from the flight deck, from our oh, cancel the alarms, go away, and yeah, I will leave you from the flight deck with our wonderful sort of GoPro camera view once I get that set up, which did look rather nice. So whatever you're doing for this week and this weekend in particular, I hope you have a great one. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I will speak to you all on Discord, and yeah, have a great week or two. I'll see you all again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.
Retard. 5.